Good evening, folks. Red County Blue Nation, Westcliff, Colorado. Great States of America, and Stephen Rorick, Mike Boring on the console, Jimmy McMahon. Jimmy, what's happening, buddy?
We are
trying to get it going here. We had a little,
computer glitch.
Yeah, I had a little technical difficulty there, folks. Somehow my X payment didn't happen, and they like money or they don't like to let you do what you want to do. So everybody's texting me, everybody's calling me.
Where are you? What's going on? Anyways, we're fighting the fight, so it's all good. It's all good. So yeah, I mean, I think we've made headway trying to be the voice of the people and rally some good stuff going on here in Custer County, and I think that's the moral of the story. Watched the BOCC meeting this morning and some of the issues that they're dealing with, and looks like they're doing a pretty good job of handling the county's business right now. All in all, I think they've got it between the lines. And then, but yeah, I think we need to pray for some moisture. Yeah, we definitely need some snow in the mountains, and we need some rain on the plains. So that's the big deal. But all in all, I think we've made some pretty good progress with the voice of the people in the community rallying together to kind of be, involved in their politics here. The things that, whether it's that property tax going up all of a sudden and.
Yeah, so we got a ton of stuff to talk about here, folks. It's kind of all linked together. Been trying to determine just how I was going to go about this. I guess first issues first. Let's get this whole misunderstanding put to bed. Number one, I'm getting a lot of feedback from everyone about the death threat that I made to Lucas. Y'all are completely out of your mind. If you look at the context of how I said that, and you listen to a minute before and you listen to a minute after, it's clear to see that I am not threatening to put a hole in Lucas's head.
Not even close.
For Christ's sakes, if I wanted to do that or was going to do that, I wouldn't have waited for a year and a half. So, I mean, get real. Ann, Lisa, all y'all, whoever it is that thinks they can fabricate this, Jason White, any of you people, right? I talked to Lucas today. We shook hands. We shook hands at the caucus. Chuck and I got a meeting tomorrow at 9:30 to go see Lucas.
Absolutely.
To get this smoothed out. Yeah. So all y'all thinking about these death threats and all of this, you're completely obscene and absurd. As far as you girls with the CCRCC, let me explain this a little closer. Now, what I said, I didn't say particularly any names when I said string you up, but let me explain what this is. Let me explain back to context so people really know what's going on here. Right? This starts with Ann Barthrop. You got Ann Barthrop, you got Nancy Drummond, and you got Joni Wilcox. You have Lisa Kidwell, you have Dawn Ramsdale, and you have Nikita Phillips. I'm not sure which one of you women was so crude to post on Facebook that John Rusher's molesting his daughter, Caitlin Rusher. But that's what I said you should have been strung up for, because it's completely and utterly unacceptable. You women are atrocity to this county. And you're an atrocity to the Custer County Republican Central Committee. I can't believe that you would stoop that low. And so now you know where I'm coming from. You know me better, Nikita, than to think that. Now, Dawn, you don't know me, but Nikita, you do. You know me well enough. I didn't threaten you girls. But that bullshit you pull with John Rusher saying he's touching his daughter.
Someone pushed the send button.
You girls are lucky you didn't get sued into oblivion over that shit.
That was pretty childish, and it was satanic.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
That was about it.
And I don't know, I'm not pointing a finger, but I know one of you women pushed the send button on
Somebody pushed the send button, and they were all
And you all are running in the same ship here, so you're all guilty by association, all of you.
It was in the same thread.
ridiculous,
Yeah.
gross, appalling, atrocious.
And I tell you, one of the things that this group of people that I'm associated with, we hold each other accountable.
I mean,
You know what I mean?
you tried to take us down. You tried to take us down at the caucus by spreading these facetious lies. Right? Anybody, all you have to do is look at number one. It's a hyperbole, right? I mean, I'm not. Why would I Number one, why would I threaten Lucas? Right? If I wanted to do something to Lucas, I wouldn't threaten him. I would just do it. So this whole fabricated thing that you made up, and Jason White, I mean, I get it, right? You're just a little, all the more you got is to follow Ann and Lisa around. Man, I'm sorry for you, brother. I thought we were friends.
I did too.
But we're not anymore. I can tell you that, pal.
That ship's
that's a bunch of bullshit right there, pal.
Yeah.
So number one, I did not threaten Lucas's life. Did I say, yeah, we're going to drill a hole a mile through your head? Yeah, meaning when I see him, when my 87-year-old dad sees Lucas Epp, he is going to chew his ass for lying to him. And it's been a year and a half, and I made an appointment with Lucas today at the search and rescue building, shook hands just like we always shake hands.
Absolutely.
And you're you're pretty childish too to even let him play that shit, Lucas. But we'll talk about that tomorrow in your office with my dad, pal.
In private.
So, Jordan, you want my official statement? There it is, pal. I don't need none of this shit. Here I am trying to help out the people of this county, and I have a bunch of low-grade, low-class personalities, like the women on this CCRCC coming at me like this is atrocious. What's the matter with you people? Hell, we beat you fair and square at the polling box at the caucus, and all you can do is try to smear my name through the mud? Good luck with that. How good's that working for you? Trying to say there's death threats everywhere. Never even went to the sheriff with the shit. Boy, real scared, ain't you, Lucas? That's because Lucas knows better. Like I said, it's pretty childish, Lucas, that you would even play along.
Thank you, Steve, because that needed to be said.
John Rusher, you women are lucky. You're damn lucky.
Very.
And you're not lucky with your life. You're lucky that your pocketbook still exists. He could have sued you into oblivion.
And that's where we've got to go here as a community. We need to mature and not react. And the things that have gone on here in a desperate, and I don't know where it comes from.
They're desperate. But y'all are in a lot more hot water than you think you are because you didn't follow the bylaws. You're over here saying that you're going to have an election, but you didn't even read the bylaws to the point it says that there has to be a vacancy before you fill the vacancy. But no, you wanted to do that already because you were too afraid that we're going to get more PCPs and we'll vote you out of there. So what you've done is you've compromised yourself. You've compromised what you're even trying to do. But you never represented me. Nikita, that's what I've had a problem with the whole time.
That's all.
Now, Dawn, I wouldn't expect Dawn to represent me, right? I know better than that. I don't know you, Dawn, and I don't want to know you. Do you understand that? I want nothing to do with you. Nikita, on the other hand, I've known you for a while. Brad and I are what I consider to be friends at the least.
Absolutely.
But for Aspen Ballsy to show up at the precinct 2 and spout this stuff, and you got the preacher from Eagle Summit Ranch saying that I'm a Nazi and that I'm talking about Hitler. I'll tell you what I said about Hitler. I said he's probably knows some stuff that we didn't even know about, is what I said. And he did. You know, he was funded by the World Bank. He was funded by America. It's the billionaire Jews that are eating the kids, folks.
Yeah, it's a lot deeper than.
And you're gonna come at me, man? I tell you what, you barked up the wrong tree, girls.
Well, you better pack a lunch because it's gonna be a big one. So I mean, at the end of the day, Steve, I got to take my hat off to you. The amount of work you've put into making the caucus successful. And everybody that came out and supported, the Republican Party, knowing, the caucus is it's kind of a pick up the etch a sketch, shake it. It's a brand new deal. It's really just kind of it's a standalone deal by itself, and it's where the voice of the people really get to shine. Before the primary or our general election, it's very vital. A caucus, and that's one of the things I wanted to mention is we're going to do an educational thing. Both of us are precinct committee people, and what we'd like to be able to do is educate the people in our precincts on how this caucus works and the importance of showing up.
Yeah, and that's all. It's fine and dandy, right? It won't happen for another 2 years, and so education is the key. Next time that it comes up, we will actually be tasked with doing the caucus, setting it up, doing all that stuff, and then bringing to the public's attention, do you want to have a chair and a secretary, or can we just handle it for you? I mean, these are all part of the bylaws, and it takes a lot more than people realize. But ultimately what we are, folks, is we are your representation.
Absolutely.
My number is 71937102333. If you are in District 3 and you're a Republican, please call me. Please. I want to hear what we have to say. Tomorrow night is our whatever, I forget what they call it, christening or our first night of this Republican Central Committee meeting will be tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, Rancher's Roost. I encourage anybody, registered Republican, to show up to this caucus, or to this, I got caucus on the brain, to this CCRCC meeting. We spent a lot of time getting elected here, and the reason we did that is because we weren't getting represented properly. I mean, and I will say this, I will hand it, I'm going to give credit where credit's due. Nikita Phillips, Don Ramsdale, you both did a very fine job on Saturday. You handled the meeting with extreme expertise, very precision, very graceful. My hat's off to you girls. I mean, you did a very nice job with that. So, I mean, and this is not about, it's not, excuse my French, but it's not a pissing contest, right? This is not about ego. I have 100 things that I would rather do. I mean, that's why we're late getting on here, is because I missed the X payment, right? Now I'm trying to dig through the cards and figure this out and figure that out. Luckily, Mike knows what to do. I don't even know none of the passwords or anything.
Thanks, Mikey.
He's like, man, it won't work. He's like, did you pay? It's like, oh, shoot.
Shuckins.
Except for that wasn't the word we used.
Yeah. Whoopsie daisy.
We're going to try not to cuss as much. I mean, the thing about it, folks, is this podcast is our opinion and our opinion only. We don't owe any of you anything, and we pay for this all on our own. I mean, we've had one good donation our whole time, and we appreciate that person.
Absolutely.
But nobody else really, nobody else is.
And we don't sell products or anything like that.
I mean, maybe someday we will, but it's like, I'm so busy. I literally have not worked. This is almost the third week in a row that I haven't worked, trying to keep track of this caucus, what's going on, the maneuvering with Ann and her crew, trying to put us down, trying to take us out, trying to create these lies.
They're false narratives.
I mean, for crying in the... If I was going to threaten your life, I wouldn't do it on air. I would just do it, right? I've never even hit nobody in my whole life, folks. I've never punched anyone.
I can't say that.
I can, right?
And Steve can.
I mean, I might have a loud voice and a big mouth, but I've never drilled somebody in their head. Otherwise, they damn sure know it.
The kindest souls,
especially Lucas.
Kindest souls you ever meet in your life is Chuck and Steve Rourke. Guaranteed.
But yeah, for Jordan, you're going to call me and then demand that I give you an official. Dude, I don't owe you nothing, brother. You should be glad that you even can get a hold of me, man, because I don't appreciate the way that you do things. I never really have, man. You're wishy-washy. One day you're over here and the next day you're over here, and it's just whatever suits you. And I don't appreciate it. No. And you're not going to pressure me, bud. I told you that I would put it out an official statement on the podcast, and then you're going to demand that I don't have time for you. Man, just saying, right? We could have been teammates on this deal, but you're too important for me. You say we're intellectual idiots, and that's fine, because I don't want nothing to do with you personally. Just saying, just putting that out there, right? So go peddle your papers to whoever the libtards that buy them or whatever it is, man. I don't care. But get this straight. I didn't make a death threat to anyone.
None.
If you put it into context, if you would actually took the time to listen to a minute before or a minute after, then you would understand that Lucas lied to my dad. And most of y'all probably don't care, but that's your fault. I do care. My dad is one of the people that helped get him elected, helped get him to run against Tom Flower the first time.
Yeah.
He was there. He supported Lucas. And for Lucas to lie to him, that's the problem I have here.
Betrayal.
Yeah, it's betrayal. And y'all, I know y'all don't care. So what are you going to do? You're going to try to accuse my dad of making a death threat? I mean, come on. You talk about a load of malarkey. That is it, folks.
Well, that's a tactic, and
it is a tactic. That's what
it's
CNN,
childish.
that's what the news media does to Donald Trump. That's what they do to Alex Jones. I mean, I guess I should feel...
Absolutely. You're in a pretty elite group.
Jesus.
But when folks start using that kind of tactic and really getting that desperate,
once again,
it shows you that you're right over the target.
What you cackling hen said about John Rusher and his daughter, boy... What little bit of credibility you had went to nothing. And I talked to John about it today.
Yeah.
To make sure that he was all right, because I don't want to go running his name through the mud. But when he got over the target and when y'all started putting so much pressure on him, when he was telling you that you didn't have Tracer right.
Yeah.
Same reason what you did to Len Arrigo.
Sued
him. And then you get fined by the state because you don't have it right.
You're going to get revealed.
And that's how you women operate. The women of the CCRCC. Boy, you might all think you're all high and mighty, but the community does not agree.
Absolutely. No, the people's spoken. I mean, we I don't know, was it 3 months that we've spent putting this thing together?
It's been a while.
Been a while. 2 days a week. We've got a lot of time.
This is the third week that, in 2 more days will be 3 weeks that I haven't went to work, dealing with this stuff every day, trying to get the printouts, trying to make it happen, trying to have meetings, trying to herd cats, trying to figure out what's really important.
Well, a lot of it was education. A lot of it was people showing up here at your place and finding out what can we do to be involved to make our community a better place. And the outreach and the education, and then the strategy of saying this is what we're having a problem with. Here's the solution, and strategizing all of that.
Yeah, because
it's a big deal. I mean, this is how many pages this is?
It's 4.
This is 4 pages, folks. And how it's done here, it almost came off exact how Steve pretty much planned it. I mean, there was a few other people involved, but that thing pretty much went off what's written on the papers. And there was 3 of these, 3 different pamphlets per each precinct.
Because at the end of the day, right, I don't trust Ann Barthrop. I liked Ann, but once I figured out what she really was, and it's nothing personal. It's the position that she's in. I don't trust her. She's over here. She's going to do the courthouse whether we like it or not. But like you're not, Ann, we are going to stop you.
Well, we went to that meeting today, the workshop.
We went to the workshop at the Search and Rescue about now, because we made a resolution about not doing the Justice Center, so now they just call it the courthouse. Like, you think that's going to stop what we're doing?
And the resolution basically is the spirit of it. The wordsmithing hasn't taken place yet. On all of the, what was it, 5 or 6 different resolutions?
On the ones that I read, it's pretty much I mean, there wasn't even any debate. It passed unanimously that we do not want the courthouse and that we want an attorney to look this contract over and check the validity because we want our money back, Haga. We want our money back. You can have the little bit, have your prairie dog infested little 6 acres over there.
And that's what it comes down to, folks, is there was, and I'm gonna boil it down to 2 people mainly, and I'm not gonna give, a way out for the other folks that were behind it as well. But the 2 ringleaders is Bill Kanda and Ann Barthrup, and the 2 of them both have said, I negotiated the price and did the deal on the land.
Yeah, they basically argue against each other.
They argue against each other.
And these are the 2 people that are also arguing that they found Taylor Lopresti to run for commissioner. So, I mean...
Full of lies.
Counterfeit to the end.
Full of lies.
Of course, this is our opinion, but it's true.
Well, you get me to call you a liar, you've earned it. That's all I'm going to tell you. And these folks, this has been, I don't know, pretty near 7 years that I've been dealing with this hand-to-hand combat with the ridiculous behavior in the courthouse and in the county building and how they've done this stuff.
The way that they treated Jack Canterbury.
Oh, that was another.
And I mean, we've talked about this a lot of times, but this is important, folks. We won the caucus. We got 4 out of 6 PCPs that we wanted elected. How
many delegates?
Out of the delegates, we got 23 out of
29. 23 out of 29. So our hard work paid off. If we'd have had more of you show up and
yeah, we were 2 votes short in precinct 1. So that's all y'all that thought it was more important to have a tequila party instead of show up.
Yeah.
Shame on you. All you people that told me you don't care about your property tax, it's fine. We got plenty of money. Shame on you too.
Yeah. Well, there was a lot of folks that I'd contacted, and both of us got a lot of time involved in this thing in the last month. I mean, pressed down, shaking together, smiling and dialing, Facebook messaging, and I was trying to get a hold of Jordan to get an ad in the paper, and of course, Jordan, you didn't call me back.
Yeah, we're intellectual, whatever you call us, intellectual idiots or something. So, I know we're not good enough.
Jordan, I don't want to say anything that hurts your feelings because I know how you react. You trigger pretty fast, and I don't want to trigger you. But we do have some stuff, and your newspaper is probably pretty important, being you sued the other one out of
I told you better show up tomorrow night at the CCRCC if you actually want to get a legitimate story that's even worth writing about what's going on in this county. And all you can do is come at me and say, well, I demand a statement from you. Dude.
That's funny.
People in hell want ice water too, buddy.
Well, the whole thing about that is if you're going to be part of the community, and you have the community, really, that's what's in your heart. Then you be the man, and it shows itself.
Yeah, where were you?
But when you're just a little,
where were you today, Jordan?
Selfish.
I mean, you did nice on that. You did a good write up on that on the Justice Center thing again. But where were you today? It's happening all again, buddy. Where were you at the caucus that you think you're a Republican? I heard through the grapevine you didn't even know that it was happening.
Well, here again, old Jordan, born and bred here, and they've got somebody going to run against, oh boy, looky out, somebody going to run. The whole thing about it is if you're consistent and you love this place and you're sold out to this place, your heart gets established about the goodwill of it. But when you're just a little money grubber or you're just doing it for your selfish gain, well, it comes out too. So that's where I'm at with it. There's a lot of folks moved up here because of the way it is, and they want to be able to enhance it and keep it the way it is. And then there's the other folks that just ain't that way. They moved here, and that's fine. bring all your stuff you want. Bring it, you know. But you ought to find a place that accommodates your belief system. This place has been preserved, and people back in the day had some foresight to put some controls in place to keep it the way it is. And that's where I'm at. I mean, it is what it is. But bringing a territorial prison that's got 18 beds, we already voted that thing down. Now the next thing that's coming up, it's just a courthouse.
Yeah, we know you're trying to put a resolution up against the Justice Center, so now we'll call it a courthouse. Like, there ain't nothing wrong with the courthouse we got. Lucas stood up at the caucus. Number one, Rich Smith, when I read the resolution in Precinct 3 that got unanimous 30 votes.
Same here in Precinct 1. It was
unanimously. I mean, there were 70 people to start, but most everybody left. Like, they can't take the pain, which I can't blame them.
Boy, I'm telling you.
As soon as the vote was over, they left. But after I read that resolution, Rich Smith gets up and he says, yeah, we don't need it. I mean, I've revamped my sheriff's office. Some of the stuff that we had in these closets or whatever, they call them closets. They must be bigger than a closet because he's talking about we're turning them into offices.
Absolutely.
They got a storage container and they're using it. He's using what he has to get where he needs to go. And that's the thing. What we talked about today, what they talked about today. Well, if this and if that and if in 10, 15 and if like, we don't need it, folks, and we don't want it. Most people around here just can't buy the pickup they want and the house they want and the Ferrari they want and the island they want. They have to live within their means, and we demand that the county does the same. You will quit spending our money foolishly. That's why Taylor is here.
Absolutely.
Taylor, according to, I mean, I keep hearing so much falsehoods. Now I hear that somebody might try to run against him independently. Great, good, more power to you. Taylor, in the Republican side, is your commissioner, folks. We have enough. It only takes 10% of 29 to get him on the ballot, and we have like 80, 70 some percent.
Oh, every bit of that. How many we got out of 29?
23.
We got 23 out of 29. Do the math. That's pretty good math. That's a lot of hard work, and that's people showing up. Thank you, people that showed up and being involved. That's monumental. And you know who you are. So I give you kudos.
And all y'all that didn't show up, I mean, in Precinct 3, we made it all right. My precinct, we had people showed up and they did what they needed to do, and it showed. We got both PCPs and all 10 delegates, as it should have been. Precinct 1, 2 votes short.
Failed miserably.
Really?
And that was a lot of time and effort that I put in. And you folks know who I've contacted and who I've asked to come, and yeah, we'll be there. And
so Lisa,
you didn't show up.
Lisa Kidwell, and congratulations to her. I mean, but she had 27 votes, Jimmy had 27 votes, and Gene Canterbury had 25 votes. She was 2 votes short of getting where we needed to go.
And that was my biggest saying was, your vote will count. You're not wasting your time. And I guess you just didn't think that your voice and your vote mattered. Well, it would have. You could have been would have been dynamic. To do as well as we did. Thank you for the folks that did show up.
Thanks to Stacy Kish for Kish. Sorry if I didn't pronounce that right. Thank you, Stacy, for standing up for me. I appreciate you more than you realize and more than you know. Also appreciate Lisa Frank and Sandra Atterbury for making a stand. Whatever Aspen Balsley said at Precinct 2, all lies. Like, at least if you had a legitimate problem, I mean, you could at least word it wasn't just pure lies, because them girls called you right out, and all you had to say was, well, I don't want to talk about it. Well, of course not, because you just lied in front of a bunch of people. And it's odd, right? If Nikita and Dawn, if you're so scared of me, why didn't you bring that up at the caucus that I was at? Funny how Lucas never said anything about a death threat at the caucus he was at, and I stood right there and shook his hand. Brad, you're telling me you need delegates. You're asking me for delegates. But on the flip side, you're letting these women drag my name through the mud, bud. Shame on you. You better grow a set one of these days, pal.
Well, if the folks that were at Precinct 1, where I was at, we had 5 deputies.
Well, that was another thing I was going to talk about, too. Yeah, there was so much hype about these death threats, and that Jimmy and I are so out of control that they got all of these deputies. I don't even know, at my place, or at Precinct 3, they were posse. And I met them both, shook hands with them like 10 times, and Vincent even gave me his card, and he said, man, there needs to be more people around here like you. I said, well, thank you, sir, I appreciate that. Because there does. Instead of these little slimy little lying about stuff, trying to make stuff up about John Rusher, you girls should be ashamed. Like I said, I'm not pointing the finger because I don't know who hit the sin button, but you all are guilty by association. It's all you cackling hens from the CCRCC pulled this shit. Atrocious. This is public business. And you're accusing a man of molesting his daughter? Come on.
It's about as pitiful as you can get as a human being.
And you know it wasn't true. That's the whole thing. You know it wasn't true. For Christ's sakes, Don, you live right next to the man. Yeah, don't get me wrong. John Rusher's not my best friend by any means. And we've had we don't see eye to eye on a lot of different things and never have over a lot of years. I've known John since I was like 7, 8, 9 years old. Right? But that doesn't mean that he deserves something like that because he didn't do it. And you girls know better. But you let the main cackling hen talk you into this? Just like you let them just like Jason White, you let them talk you into trying to throw me through the mud? Did you even listen to that clip besides just the whatever 6 or 8 seconds they had? Did you take the time to listen a minute before and a minute after?
I've
been after Lucas Epp for a year and a half, thinking that he might show up somewhere to try to defend himself. Clear. And this is how it ends up? Clear. So what, I made an appointment to go see him with my dad. You'll have to apologize to him. You have no choice, Lucas. You lied to us, pal. And you let this go on with these women at the CCRCC? Boy, not good, man. This does not look good for your reputation. And let me explain something else for you commissioners. If you follow Ann Barthrop off the cliff, it will be the end of you. Where she's headed, nobody wants to go. She's lied to us about the Justice Center. She's lied to us about the CCRCC. She's lied about accusations that I'm making death threats. And do I care? I do not care at all. All I want is her out. You are not going to put a Justice Center here, Ann. We've already told you we do not want it. And Bill, you think you're going to come up in here? But Jimmy and I are so dangerous. That's why we have all these deputies. And when Brad Balsley tells Veltri, well, I got my deputies in here to make sure nothing happens. Man, come on. You're cheesy, man.
Well, it was
cheese.
It was what that was designed to do was to legitimize their false narrative.
And it didn't work very good.
And it backfired extremely bad. It backfired onions.
Yeah, I made 2 new friends.
But I know there was a gentleman out there that he pulled me aside. Boy, you got to watch how you talk and how you do this and how you do that. And
the thing is, folks, is that we're here for the people.
Yes, we are.
Otherwise, we wouldn't have done this podcast. The whole Justice Center is the reason why we created this podcast. And
The books.
The podcast first, it was all over the Justice Center.
Justice Center and the books.
Is why we started this. And so, Lucas, you can be a hero. When Taylor gets in there, you can be a hero and you can get the finances fixed and we can all play kumbaya after that. And if you don't, buddy, you're going to go down with Ann because she's going down, right? She has committed these atrocities that nobody will stand for. You've broken the law. You've broken the bylaws, plus you've also broken the law. We're not going to say any.
Yeah.
We got some.
We don't need to say any more.
Yeah,
we're not saying any more.
Whatever you pulled with that Justice Center, nobody wants the Justice Center. Not even one single person that I've talked to. Maybe the judge or maybe Reggie Foster or somebody that doesn't know anything and has gotten paid somehow wants it.
Very few people, and when you understand about the mandate, and then that the Golden Dome, the state of Colorado is like $2 billion upside down. The work that we put into the resolutions, not just getting the PCPs elected and the delegates elected, but what went into the resolution is to hold these folks accountable. And you only get one shot when the caucus comes by, and you got to get it in word form, and you got to get it submitted to the CCRCC.
All 6 resolutions passed in all 3 districts
by a landslide, almost 100%. I think we had one thing when the grant thing came up. There was one or two people that poo-pooed.
We had some opposition in ours. And I get it, right? It's like, well, everybody's like, well, if we don't have property tax, how are we going to pay for this stuff? I get it, folks. I get it. But where we're going with this is not how we're going to replace this money. It's that you don't need to spend it all.
That's right.
If you would spend it responsibly, there wouldn't be a problem.
We wouldn't have to collect so much. We wouldn't have to give you guys so much if it was spent well, because there's a lot of money that comes in from the gas tax that we pay. We got income tax, we got taxes, everything we buy gets taxed. There's a massive amount of abundance of taxpayers' money if it was administrated properly. But when you get into the waste, fraud, and abuse, Minnesota and Custer County, the money would go a lot further. But we don't. And that's as a conservative, and we call ourselves Republicans, if it was handled correctly, and thank God that Taylor LaPresti is stepping up to be a public servant with the proper attitude and personality. His character and his knowledge is, we're blessed. We're blessed.
He actually cares about fiduciary responsibility. And like I've said before, and I'll say it again, I was pleasantly surprised when he told me about his escapades with the federal government. I've never heard of a federal government employee said they had to be accountable, and if they weren't, they could get fired and lose their 20-year pension. And I'm just like, am I on the wrong planet here? You're talking about the government. What do you mean? And he's like, no, that's the way it is with the DEA. They demand the money is straight. It's like one of the only 3-letter agencies that has any accountability whatsoever.
And that's what it comes down to, folks. And like I said, we've made it real clear. I've made it real clear anyways. There will be no... I'm involved in this intimately now. If anybody starts to get a little bit funny, not being ethically upright, not being above reproach, I'm going to call them out instantly.
Well, then we've been calling them out, but now it's like we have a little more responsibility, because now we are actually the liaison between the Republican constituents and the party, right? We've taken this on so that we can shoulder some of this concern and explain what is going on here. I stayed a couple extra hours to help Nikita and Dawn do their paperwork that they weren't able to get done as people were coming in. I went through and certified all the votes. I went through and did all that stuff so that, because I was happy to. I missed the party, right? I missed, everybody else went and partied and had a good time. I missed all that so I could count the votes to help them girls do what they needed to get done.
Yeah.
But yet they're still spreading rumors about how I put death threats on them. And we've already explained this. I don't care, ladies. I know I'll see you at the cafe. I know I'm going to see you around. It's going to be fine.
It's a little town.
I don't hate you. I'm not threatening you.
Just exposing you.
But yeah, the truth has come out. You shouldn't have been telling lies about John Rusher and his daughter.
And to that degree of...
This is just not. This is not the kind of stuff that you'd say about people. It's one thing to say this or say that, but to say that you molested your daughter, boy, you're lucky that you're lucky. Is all I can say. You're extremely lucky that you didn't get sued into oblivion.
So we're raising the standard of behavior in the Republican Party. We want to make sure that everybody that's receiving taxpayer money is earning it and not wasting it. We want to make sure that, in the days to come, the money's run out. The money's run out, folks. All the COVID money's run out. They're spending the last little drops of it now. And people that didn't see the rainy day coming and prepare for it, and if you remember Mr. Lucas and Mr. Vogelson and Mr. Kanda, there were several of us that said, now look, boys, don't get too happy about all this abundance of all this printed money and all this grant stuff that the feds have just given out, which was a cancer to this country. And that's why you have to be a conservative all the time. Otherwise you get caught short. At the end of the day, you guys didn't take heed to that. You didn't take heed to your constituents saying, hey, listen now, I'm going to give you a little heads up here. It's real easy to get into spending that money like it ain't there. And so like I told Lucas, I said, every time you say grant, you need to say an individual's hard-earned money that was taken at gunpoint is what you're spending. That's what a grant is. The government has no money.
Yeah, let's get that straight, folks. A grant is your tax dollars.
They use grant like it's just a freebie. Yeah,
they use grant to get you to realize, so that it distracts you from where that money really comes from. That is the money we paid in tax. It's not an ever-growing fund. Like Jimmy said, the government has no money. This is our money. And that's why we're so upset with what's going on here. I demand, my constituents demand, Lucas.
My constituents demand. We can say that.
We can say that.
Because we stepped up to the plate.
Elected, right? We're elected to speak for the people. and don't get me wrong, I would have just as soon been able to call Nikita and been like, yeah, this is my problem. Can you take care of it? But she never did. Because you're not representing me, Nikita, you're representing Ann and Lisa. Because they're your friends, and I get it, right? I'm not trying to step in between that. But you didn't properly do your job as a PCP, or you would still be in office. And that's why we showed up with the people. I mean, I got accused of, well, this is just a good old boy club. Well, as a matter of fact, it is. It was my dad, Jim Reed, Jerry Seifert, Drew Dix, Brent Spees, Sarah Kettle.
Those are the people that salted this county. Those are the salt of this county.
People that actually matter here.
Well, they're producers too, and they're massive taxpayers because they produce, they create.
Tony Supan.
Yep, all these folks have been
Carl
here.
Cardenas.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is.
That's
what this whole caucus thing was about. Was These people are tired of their property tax just keep going up and up. These people are tired that the Republican Party is in shambles by a bunch of old cackling women.
I mean, the Giroux, I mean, that list is long.
Daryl and Twyla Giroux.
Yeah. I mean, there's some beautiful people that have been here. Quiet giants that absolutely are the backbone of this community. We've had enough. Those people, they showed up. And a lot of you newcomers, whether you're Texas or California or wherever you might be from, you might ought to think about what a caucus is and educate yourself on how important this first go-around is in what's going on.
That's all. Jimmy's right, but I mean, the thing is the caucus is over and nobody will remember shit about the caucus for 2 years. But what you do have now is you have a PCP that is willing to represent you properly.
Yes.
As a Republican, and we're hoping with this new group of PCPs that we can get more people to come. And Ann and Lisa and your little band of old cackling women wouldn't invite anybody to come to the party.
No, it was almost a stiff arm. They didn't want anybody involved.
Then they tried to say, well, we don't have no emails, but you got plenty of emails to invite everybody to Liberty Rocks, but you won't invite them to the caucus or to the CCRCC. And then, I mean, you're going to say about how great we are that we have, we invite people and up to the pizza place and do this and that. I mean, all that's fine and dandy, but except for you're not representing us. You're representing yourself. And what's going on with this Justice Center? The way that Ann has handled this, she's been at the root of this Justice Center the whole time. Nobody realizes what she's done or what she is. She's trying to fleece this county by doing this. And we've said no, and no means no. And Bill Canada is right there alongside her with her. Like, Bill, I mean, you didn't know it today, but I got you on recording, right? Tell you, we don't have to, if it's a mandate and we can't pay for it and the state doesn't pay for it, we don't have to do it. And you agreed with me, but yet you wanted to argue with me.
And he's still pushing it.
And
like a madman. $2 billion upside down in the state. And they're talking about these, what's it called, underfunded court deals. Everything is underfunded now.
Well, and let's get to this too, folks. Like, why?
It's ridiculously stupid.
Why? This is one of the most bizarre things to me, and I never really thought about it till just like in the last 6 months. But why should I, as an upstanding citizen, have to pay for a criminal? Hello, that doesn't make any kind of sense, but that's how it works, folks. The people that abide by the law have to pay for the people that break the law.
And I just heard that a lot of these prisons are privately owned.
Well, they are. It's all about money. That's what this Justice Center is.
Well,
it's all about people making money.
The icing on the cake is if they didn't have enough criminals to fill the vacancies, they would back charge the county or the state, whoever it was funded by, if they weren't making profit. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Sign me up for that, boys. You can't lose there. If you don't make enough money.
We want to raise the sales tax as high as any place in Colorado, but yet we're setting up a bunch of low-income housing.
Bizarre.
Like, it's so hypocritical. You want people to have an easier time so that they can live here and have a life here, but yet you want to raise it to the highest sales tax of anywhere in Colorado. I mean, that's whatever you're proposing there, commissioners.
Bad math.
It is. It's ludicrous, right? It doesn't work that way. If you want stuff to be affordable, quit spending all the frickin' money and raising our taxes.
Well, and the private sector can do things that, and such more efficiency. There can be some incentive to make a little bit more of affordable housing. They got the trailer parks here and there, folks, you know what I mean? That's about as cheap as you're going to get, I expect. But
Well, I mean,
at the end of the
you
day,
got the Hess mess and all them big apartments up in Silver Cliff. I mean, there was quite a few people.
yeah. I mean, a hand up is
But
one
that's
thing, but the
also-
government never was supposed to be
The problem,
involved in wood chippers.
The problem is too, folks, is what you do is you bring in riffraff. Like, I mean, you know better. I mean, I've watched it go down. The low income housing across from the Dome. I've known people that have lived in there for a long time. And I mean, there's some good folks that needed that housing for a little while, but there's some real kind of
Questionable characters.
troublemaking type people that are either breaking the law in one way or another, right? I'm just going to leave it at that. And so what you're doing is you're bringing more law breaking into your community by trying to provide low income housing. Because the thing is the good strong people that have a family and have to muster, they're not going to wait around for one of them little houses to pop up. They're going to go somewhere because they got to keep making money to keep their family fed. They're not going to wait for this bureaucracy to come up and...
Well, you don't have to go very far, folks, to find out when the government gets involved in things like this. Go to Salida. Look at that little cow town. I remember that little cow town 20 years ago. It's a pretty good little place. And there come the government. Here come taxes. And let's show you guys how it's done.
And now the crime.
Now the crime is outrageous. Just like doing a territorial prison up here, Annie Banani, you and Billy Bob Canada. You're willing to bring in a territorial prison that's going to bring a criminal element in here. You didn't care about that. All you cared about is you got the land deal done, and you're going to force the Custer County people to go along with you. It's almost like extortion. Well, we bought the land. You're going to have to bend somewhere, especially the way we wrote the contract. You people are called out, and you're in the light for all the despicable decisions and the asinine whatever that is that's in your soul. You are morbid. You people, you need to be ejected out of the county because you're just a few apples that's rotten in everything. And that's why we're doing what we're doing. And push is coming to shove. And
Well,
it is.
It is. I mean, this is... we really needed one more PCP to make the vote happen, but hopefully we can...
And I'll tell you, Steve, let me tell you the story up Precinct 1. Kevin and I, we met here at your place. We had a little talk about, hey, good luck everybody. Hope we do well. We put a lot of time and energy into this. So Kevin and I are just walking down the Lang Hall from here. We're looking down there and here's the cops. And I'm thinking, wow, I wonder what's going on up there. I'm just wondering, man, there's a lot of deputies up there. And then and if I would have known that the Democrats had their caucus there previously, they just exited the doors, I would have thought, well, maybe there was some purple-haired guy went in there and maybe it was a ruckus. And they're just lingering around and want to say hi to us. But oh no, they were all sent there because of some death threat. Steve wasn't there. Steve was at what precinct?
Precinct 3.
Number 3 here in town and around, a little north.
Pretty funny that I'm the guy that's making the death threats, but I'm shaking hands with the man that supposedly said I'm shaking hands with the man that the death threat is against, and he's smiling at me and I'm smiling back at him, and the cops are all right there.
Let me tell you something, folks.
Nobody said nothing.
How premeditated this was, and how they tried to intimidate us. This is the ruthlessness, and this is the tactic, and this is how far these people will go. Them people were there because I was there. And anybody that knows me, I'm about as easygoing person as there is. Now, don't get me wrong. If there's somebody doing something wrong, I'm dang sure going to step up and stand up and say something or even do something. But that was the most pitiful thing that could have taken place. And then when the meeting starts, it's made real clear, super clear, by Mr. Andrew Zeller, chairperson of the caucus. We've got people strategically placed out here. If anybody gets out of hand, they'll take care of you. They'll take you out.
Like if that ain't a threat, that
So
sounds
here-
like more
here-
of a death threat than what I was
Here
talking
again,
about.
you have five deputies look like they're heading to Iraq. Some of the people that were going to vote for me came by there, they were intimidated, they kept going. So your plan worked pretty good, but it didn't take complete charge. And you people that were behind it, and thank God I've got soul control, because I'd be spelling out your names right now. I'd be spelling you out right now. But I don't need to. You already know. You were already self-condemned on that little stunt. But it didn't have enough weight to push us off the victory. So there you go. That's the kind of stuff that we've had to endure. And I can't even tell you I'm on a short leash, and they released a person to attack me personally because I'm involved in the podcast and what Steve and I say. And it was such a pitiful deal. But the chairperson already knew it was going to take place.
Now, this is completely and
This
totally
was
premeditated.
This was premeditated. Because that's how desperate these people are. They don't want us to say, hey, we've had enough of you. We've had enough of your leadership. You're out. So, anyways, I wanted to get that a little bit off my chest. It really doesn't matter to me because victory's ours anyways. We're moving forward, and I think the county's got the brightest future that it's ever had right now. I think there's quality people.
At least we got them cut off at the pass. That's what we intended to do. Stop the Justice Center for one, and get control of the Republican Party. You know, Andrew is trying to say today, well, we got to try to stick together. Really? You're not sticking together at all, bud. Whatever kind of malarkey that you let go on, you don't understand yet, Andrew, but you're walking off the cliff with Ann. And you don't realize it yet, bud, but you've already stepped off the cliff.
And Mr. Zeller.
You're in free fall and you just don't know it yet.
And Mr. Zeller, man of integrity, a man of the cloth, man that preaches the gospel. We're going to see you tomorrow. You're going to be there tomorrow. You're chairing the meeting at 6 o'clock at the bowling alley. We're going to have some pretty pointed questions for you, sir. So I hope you're prepared. I hope you're prepared because your righteousness better shine through, but I don't think it's going to. I think you're compromised, and I think
what you've done,
you're disappointing.
What you've done, as many people have, is that you trust that Ann has your best interest in mind, and she doesn't.
I feel sorry for him.
She does not have your best interest in mind, and she's led you down into a position that you're in.
We'll see how it all goes.
You're in a bad position with listening to her, and that's what I'm saying to you, Lucas. You do not want to follow Ann anymore, bud.
I mean, you can. I mean, you get
yeah,
after it, boy.
You can.
Talk out both sides of your mouth.
But it's not conducive to, I'm going to say, your well-being, because it is your well-being. You're supposed to be representing the constituents.
Yeah.
But you're not. You're representing Ann. and Lisa. And if you want to go help Lisa do wiring and stuff, that's great. We all need to try to hustle because this is a tough place to live in, right? So, I mean, if you can make a few bucks hustling electric, more power to you. But you need to quit listening to Ann and pay attention to what's going on with the finance. You've been listening to her. She spread the rumor that Lynn Arrigo and Matt Miles were no good after Matt helped her get the recall done. All of this stuff. Ann's like a black widow spider. She'll just, whenever she's had enough, she just turns around and bites your ass. And she is also threatening the sheriff. She's threatening the sheriff that she will recall him if he doesn't do what she says she wants done. And she's threatened him and said, I'll recall anybody I want. Is that where you're at, Lucas? You're afraid of her? She's going to recall you? The problem with the recall, folks, this is what I've been talking about this for weeks. And Bill's funny too. Like, dude, you need people to vote for you. And you're having this meeting, and it's the only people that show up are Jack and Jean, Stephen and Elizabeth, Taylor, Jimmy, Dan Fox, Marcy Gregg, Laura Dollarhide, and that other gal that does the little kid stuff. I'm not sure what her name is. Terrell. Is it Stacy?
Stacy. Yeah.
So, I mean, all the people that show up are all the people that don't want the damn thing. So here you are. You need the people's vote to get this through, but yet you're not making any kind of real engagement with the community to try to get anybody to even pay attention. This $25,000 that you got another grant, I mean, you're just burning it up, giving it to the architect so he can bullshit you on the Zoom.
Well, they act, and I went to both workshops. Not that the one wasn't canceled, and a lot of people showed up and, oh yeah, we canceled it this morning. Okay, that's fine. We've taken time off work. We traveled maybe 3 to 10 or 20 miles to attend this workshop. Oh, whoopsie, sorry. And then
we're going to wait till the caucus gets over and see if this plan don't work to throw Rorik under the bus. But it didn't work. And like she's on her deathbed here, squealing like an animal that's just on her last living breath. She is telling Rich that Rorik's group has somebody that they're going to run against you, Rich. We committed to Rich Smith. He came here and asked us if we would
support him in the caucus.
And these are Lopresti's delegates, folks. These are not my delegates. I'm not running. I don't need the delegates. I helped organize this deal because I know what is important.
But we committed to, who did we commit to?
We committed to Lopresti. That's what we're committed to do.
And who else?
And we also committed to Rich Smith.
We committed to Rich Smith.
And Brad, you're over here asking.
And Brad, you could have been part of this.
All you had to do was come over here, but you say, well, I'm used to asking the delegates afterwards. No, you were thinking that your people was going to screw us up.
Brad, this is coming from Jimmy, my brother. You might ought to rethink of where you're at, and you might want to give a little phone call. And I'm not being anything other than, brother, make the call, get out of that boat and into the other boat. It's just some wise advice, because this thing is going to get revealed. All of it, not just the justice or the courthouse thing now, and not all the little crazy stuff with the bylaws and the state statutes and things of that nature. It's all coming out. And I don't know how you voted or where you were at and involved in it, but...
Well, we know where you're at and how you're involved because your daughter is throwing our name through the mud.
Hello?
Too.
Hello?
But yet you're going to ask me for my vote for our delegate votes at the caucus? Come on, man.
Go get some signatures.
Getting pretty damn two-faced, Brad. I know that it's not just you, it's these women, but you'll have to grow a set of nuts at some point, pal. Did they run your life? Did they actually run you?
And he does a damn good job. That's what's irritating about the whole thing. It's just somebody's tripping him up a little bit on this. And I don't know. For the life of me, I've been watching this for a long time, and I'm pretty perceptive of stuff, but that cabal is so anchored together. And I don't know what it is. I'm not sure what it is. Is it Ann's pollen that's just polluted these people? Is there some witchcraft going on? I don't know what it is.
She's a nice lady. She's definitely knowledgeable. She has all of this stuff going for her. The problem is that she's got a wicked heart.
Connivance.
She wants to mislead people, and when they don't do what she wants to do, then they threaten her like she did Rich Smith. I'll recall you if you don't do what I want. Really, Ann? That's getting pretty brash, girl.
I seen her fangs come out at the newspaper there at the Sentinel. She said some stuff to me about some other people about how she had something special for them. And I was like, boy, that just came out of you? I have the wrong perception of you, because you just changed the whole deal.
Ann is the ringleader, right? I mean, I don't know who pushed the send button for the Rusher incident, but Ann, you're the one that's going to get blamed because you're the matriarch here. It is your ring. You are the ringleader.
It's her pollen.
I don't know who pushed the button and don't care. All I know is that you all are guilty, and especially you, Ann. Whatever you said about John Rusher and Caitlin,
that was
despicable.
And it's all in the thread. They were all involved in that thread of discussion. So you didn't keep each other accountable. You didn't say, no, that's not prudent. That's not godly. That's not wise. That's not representing the people.
It's not true.
And it's damn sure not true, but you used it. You used it against somebody for your personal gain. That's how sick you are. That's the shit that's going to stop. That's what we're fighting for. That stuff stopping. I guarantee it's stopping. Just like the sludge that they tried to pour on us. Tried to pour the PFAS chemicals down our throat with 3 goofy commissioners standing there not knowing if it was right or wrong. Imbeciles. Man, I tell you, if I was a liberal, I'd win. If I was a liberal, I'd come up here and kick their ass, and I would be in the seat.
Let's explain these other two talking parts. Appreciate, number one, as I said at the caucus, I appreciate everyone. Like I said, the people that I already shouted out to, my dad for putting up with this. I mean, he has to hear me talk about this all the time because I don't really have anybody to bounce it off of, right? And I mean, he did get me where I'm at. So, I mean, it's partially he helped create the monster that it is. But everybody that helped us, Seifert, Drew Dix, like I said, Tony, Carl Cardenas, Sarah, I mean, Kit Shy, the whole 9 yards. I mean,
Tim Agnew,
I appreciate
Kevin, there's a whole group of you folks.
I appreciate you guys that came to my caucus and helped me get where I needed to go so I can represent you. But with that being said, what I wanted to talk about this short-term pain for long-term gain, folks, whatever they're telling you on the news, that's a bunch of bull. It's a bunch of malarkey, right? That's an old school bodybuilding thing. And it's true, right? I mean, you got to pay the Pied Piper to get the long-term gain. But this whole war thing with Iraq and trying to say short-term pain for long-term gain, don't let them talk you into that. I mean, this is ridiculous. We're talking about, and I was going to do a little bit of research, and I didn't do it. I'm going to do it right now. They're telling me that it would take, the whole thing is the Straits of Hormuz, supposedly, and nobody understands it that well, and so they're like, oh hell, we'll just take it over. It's like, do you understand that that's some of the most rugged terrain almost in the whole world? The mountains that are just off that coast of the Strait of Hormuz on the Iran side is bad deal, folks. We can't just roll up in there like it's flat plain. It's not. You think the jungles of Vietnam were bad? It ain't nothing like them mountains that are in there. But anyhow, they were talking about it would take more troops, so that's what it would take more troops to secure that than they launched in World War II. And so I'm trying to figure out how much that is. But so there last week, Trump's saying, well, we might be in there 20 years. Like, dude, you better put the pipe down, man, because whatever you're talking about, brother, that isn't going to work, Don. You need to get out of there and get out of there as quickly as possible. Call it a win and let Netanyahu fight his own battle. If they get all blowed up, that's their fault. Don't tell me that I'm the big brother and that, because that is something that we cannot, I mean, short of complete destruction, I mean, without nuclear stuff, and do you honestly think, did you forget where we come from about what nuclear really does? I mean, we will all die if they decide to nuke each other. Or most of us will all die, right, folks? And I mean, so don't be so quick as to say, well, let's just nuke them. I mean, all you religious fanatics that are so diehard about Israel and all these Jews that eat little kids, right?
Well, you missed the boat there.
A lot of people get mad at me for saying this, but this is the truth. I mean, this has already all come out on the Epstein file. I'm not saying anything that I haven't. Steve, it's not all. It's out everywhere.
Steve, let me just break something down in a simple term there too. So the Jews and their lifestyle and how God created them and how all that was going, they're the ones that hung Jesus. So here. And they're still waiting for a savior. You got to understand that. A lot of you folks don't get that. But that's where the problem's at. They serve money. They're into usury. They've contaminated the planet with. They've got a lot of wealth and a lot of money. And Steve made a little comment about, Hitler knew a lot more than what we did. And he definitely overreacted a touch.
Yeah, but now I'm a Nazi because what? Because I mentioned that Hitler actually was funded by the U.S. government? Y'all, you, instead of digging out 1 or 2 seconds of what I said, you folks, what you need to do is listen to a minute before and listen to a minute behind. The preacher at the Eagle Summit Ranch, I can't wait to meet you face to face and explain my position so that you know that I'm not what these people said I was.
Not only that, but, being a person that, spreads the gospel and has a ministry, you kind of revealed your real being there. So you shouldn't be jumping to conclusions until you meet the source.
D-Day was 156,000 troops. That's how much they're saying it would take. It'd take 156,000 troops to secure that part of the Straits of Hormuz. That sounds like the dumbest thing that I could ever... And maybe I'm not completely up to speed, but I'm like, why do we need that anyhow? I don't buy anything from Israel. I don't buy anything from Iran. I don't buy anything from the Persian Gulf. I don't buy none of that. We have oil and natural gas here that we got throttled back because of Biden. So it's like, we have what we need right here. We don't need that. Unless I'm missing something. I don't need it. I don't need anything that comes from there.
I'm just going to chime in on it, just a quick thought. We get a lot of stuff from different parts of the world, manufacturing, because...
We do, but most of it is not out of the Persian Gulf, to my knowledge.
Petroleum is how it's all made. I'm going to leave that right there. But the other thing I'm going to say is there's a lot bigger picture when we got sold out with this globalization. And Ross Perot said it real clear. That's going to be a real problem, folks. But we went down that road with the Clintons, and some of you got a real clear vision. I've got a clear vision on it. And a lot of people are going to tell me, oh, no, you're mistaken. And that's okay, because at the end of the day, that's going to be okay. Because I'm more concerned about what's going on in my fences right here. Custer County's part of my fence. It's not my personal fence right around my house, but it is where I live and it's where I pay taxes. And a lot of my taxes goes to this school. And one of the things I wanted to mention is if you have a transhumanist principle.
So we use about 3 to 4% of our oil from the Persian Gulf.
That we actually use as oil.
3 to 4%. I mean, it's 700,000 barrels a day, but we can produce that here. We have one of the biggest oil things.
It's the manufacturing that we lack, is what I was getting at.
Manufacturing of what? That's the whole thing with the tariffs.
Say one thing that you bought from Amazon that came from the United States, and I ain't going to say no more.
Quite a few things, right? Actually, I make sure that the stuff that I do want to get is from the United States. It's not all from China. I don't order the shit from China because it don't get here. I don't have a year and a half for it to get here.
Right, but it probably came from China.
Not all of it. Not all of it by any means.
But if you look that up, see how much manufacturing comes from China.
There's no question,
and India.
but let's put this back into relationship with this long-term or short-term pain for long-term gain. What happened to the tariffs? That's what the whole thing was about. The tariffs was supposed to do, is bring manufacturing back to America. And now, no, we can't do that. We're going to forbid you to do that, Trump.
Well, I also
bunch of malarkey.
Yeah,
folks.
the other part, I guess, just giving them the benefit of the doubt, is we're looking at a terrorist country that Sharia law, which everybody discards as really just, it's just another religion of kitty cat petting and stuff like that. Those are killers. And number one, they hate Christians. And the infidel. So the little bit of pain we're facing right now to annihilate that nest of them kind of people, I don't have a problem with it.
And here's the thing, though, that's so hypocritical, folks, is terror, right? I mean, it's the war on terror. Well, freaking Obama's the one giving them all the money and all the guns. And so did Israel. It's proven that they funded Hamas. So it's like, it's nothing but a ploy to get you to bite off, to get you to commit. Well, they need to die. Let's nuke them. Man, we're the ones that gave them the money so that they could do the terrorist attacks on them. Don't you people realize that?
I don't think Donald gave it to him, and I intentionally
I'm not
never
saying
gave it
Donald
to him.
did.
I didn't intentionally give it to him.
The U.S. government gave it to him. Obama and the rest of these groups, and so did the Israelis. And then you wonder why they hate Americans.
No, and I'm not going to disagree with that, because that is the truth. The money people fund terror. The Jews fund terror.
It's no different than the U.S. and Wall Street funding Hitler.
Absolutely, it's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
But
I'm the Nazi. Like, really?
That was like water off a duck's back. That was such a pitiful attack. You know, Steve and I are trying to upright the county and make things go nice, okay? And you pitiful little people come at us with the pitifulest little bitty. I mean, that is... And for Andrew to allow that, put me on a short leash, tied to the post. Boy, Jimmy, you better not do nothing. And I prayed, fasted. I said, I know that I don't want to even raise my voice in there, because these people are so damn politically correct. They don't understand it. A violent debate and a discussion and getting stuff out is healthy for all of us. But to chill my speech, to chill me right out of the gate and say, boy, you better not do nothing. You better shut your mouth. And then to let some little punk ass Nimrod get up there and attack me, personally attack me. That's unacceptable, folks. But it's good because we get to expose the little childish Nimrods for what they are. That's where that's at. And I do get passionate. I'm not going to hurt you. You better be glad I used my First Amendment. You better be glad that I exercised my First Amendment. Because that's what I'm doing now to keep the second one from engaging. That's all. That's how that is. But most men can't say that. They won't stand up. People won't even talk in front of a crowd. Oh, I'm afraid somebody's not going to like me. Oh, I'm afraid I'm going to hurt somebody's feeling. Go back to bed. Go back to bed.
Yeah.
Fucking sissy bastards.
You all did the best you could, but it's not enough. I can guarantee you that because we've had enough.
You ain't even close.
Not going to put up with it anymore.
You're very reproachable. You are so exposed. You're done. The best thing you could do is say, whoopsie, got caught. I don't know. Pack your shit and go. Get out. Get on out of here. Where I'm at. We'll see how tomorrow turns out. They may have the National Guard out there tomorrow.
Doesn't matter.
God only knows.
Doesn't matter because I'm a PCP elected by my people, my constituents. I have every right to be there.
I'm not. I'll be there. And I'm going to be there. Plenty of self-control and discipline. But I'm also not going to stand there and have somebody chill my speech and try to intimidate me. That's not going to be stood for.
It's actually kind of funny, folks, that they tried as hard as they could to shut me and to shut us up. But you didn't get it done.
Didn't get her done, boys.
Because you're not just. And
You're not.
If you were just, we would have never been here in the first place.
We never would have been here.
If you would have represented us properly, we would not be here. But no, you got to try to build this justice center. You got to try to double and triple our property tax. You got to try to create a bunch of low-income housing so a bunch of illegal troublemakers can come in here. Really, we're not going to put up with it. And Taylor is going to see to it.
I mean, I'm going to be right there. I'll attend the meetings, give him support. And I'm going to give you kudos today, Lucas Epp. Because at that workshop, I was hoping you were going to stand up just as a strong man and representative of the people.
So, and I'm still like, why don't you guys have it? I'm not to cut you off, but why don't you just have a vote? And you and Paul say that you're not for it. So why
Flush the toilet.
Yeah, why don't you have a vote and get it over with?
Give the $25,000 of the taxpayers' money. Oh, it's a grant. It's not our money. It's just a grant. I mean, it falls out of the sky. Hell, they're everywhere. Here a grant, there a grant, everywhere a grant. That's what it sounds like, a bunch of ducks. Grant. It's ridiculous because your conscience is severed. You have no appreciation of people's hard work and the time and their effort.
But at least you stood up at the caucus, Lucas. And
yes, you did.
We're going to continue to put the pressure on you, and that's what I'm saying. Taylor will not put up with this stuff, and the quicker that you realize that you do not want to run with Ann Barthrop does not have your best interest in mind. It's nothing personal. It's just she does not have your best interest in mind, and she is leading you down a path that is not conducive to your well-being. She's just not. She's just not. And the quicker that you figure this out, and the quicker you come back to your senses, and the quicker you start representing your constituents like Chuck Rorick, the better off you're going to be.
It's a duty. And it's a fiduciary. You know what I'm saying? You're a trustee. You got to take yourself out of the equation. Oh, it's my checkbook. These are my houses I'm building. Where's them pretty pitiful. If you need to roll like that, go get your own business. But when you're a public servant, you need to treat them dollars. You need to treat them with a lot more value. And the government getting into housing, The government getting into wood chipping, that ain't conservative, boy. That's not conservative government. What that is liberalism. What did you call that other liberalism a long time ago?
I'm not sure.
But anyways, it's pitiful, and I think the tide's changing. I'm feeling
people want accountability.
Accountability, transparency.
The root word of accountability is count. That means you count the money and you have a record. Something that the CCRCC and Ann Barthrop and them have no desire to do that. Otherwise, they can't skim it properly. If we know how much is there, then it's hard to take it.
Yeah, and that's all we're asking. We want.
And I'm not accusing Ann of anything, except for the fact that we know that you took money, Ann, on the Justice Center because you wouldn't be doing it if you didn't.
Well,
you didn't negotiate this deal for that much money unless you got something out of it.
Well, the way it's put together too. The way it was put together, but to buy the piece of property. So, we have to buy the piece of property so that we can figure out what building we're building. Stop. It's a lie. You think everybody's just that stupid?
Well, when Cindy Howard is over here trying to sell you 10 acres.
10 acres for $100,000.
With all the taps. And you pay $876,000? Come on.
A convicted felon?
To a convicted
who
felon?
needs his name on it? I mean, how much did you get? Here again, I'm going to go back to the statute. If elected people or somebody receiving taxpayer money creates a suspicious environment, the constituent has an opportunity,
has a duty, has an obligation
to go to the DA with an affidavit, and the DA shall investigate it. But I seen the DA there today. He's talking about all his family buried up in all this, and it was a historic event with the DA coming here. I don't want to get into the meeting today, gentlemen. You know about it. Sit there. I never seen such a goofy bunch of people.
With that being said, folks, I mean, no. My official statement, no, I did not threaten Lucas. What I did say, Lucas, is that I've been waiting this whole time to try to catch you on the street so that Chuck can ask you why you lied to him.
That's all.
And it's taken 1.5 years of me nagging and bitching at you, and this is what finally come out of it before you should have went to him, and now I'm going to bring him to you to settle this. Less than desirable. Not what we expect out of our elected official.
Not only that, but how you guys poppycocked this scheme up on this caucus thing. I mean, when I asked you about it, you didn't pull out your phone. You didn't do anything. You knew chapter and verse on all of it, Lucas. This thing was so premeditated. There's some few other names that I want to mention, but I'm not going to. I'm going to try to be nice.
To God, if you were that scared, why didn't you go to the sheriff? Oh, that's because you know better than that. This is all just a big bluff to see if we would fold. I'm not going to fold because I didn't do anything wrong.
You bet.
Yeah, did I say that, Chuck is going to drill a hole 1 mile through your head? I did say that, but in the context of when he sees you on the street, he wants to know why you lied to him.
He's going to drill
you. And 1.5 years later, we still haven't seen you. We used to see you once a week at lunch. Now we never see you, and it's been that long. So what am I going to do? I have to bring him to your office to get this squared away. And I'm just saying, man, you better re-examine your situation because Ann is not your friend.
And don't get too shred happy either on information in that courthouse. That's my stuff. And you know I'm coming. So don't get too happy about shredding all that stuff. Just another little tidbit of advice. Anyways, God bless everybody. We're all good to go, but man, we need to grow up and get real and be serious and be kind and loving to one another. And part of that's a whooping. Sometimes it's a hugging, sometimes it's a whooping. So there's where we're at.
That being said, everybody have a great evening. See you next week.